Hey, welcome back everyone. It's end of December here, and in the middle of winter like that, or in the beginning of winter, especially in December, January, there's not much going on in the garden, but luckily for me, I have a ton of work that I have to do around the property, kind of cleaning this up. So I want to show you what's been going on in the last week or so, what we've been up to, and kind of what's going to be happening with all of this stuff out here, as well as the area that's right behind me on the other side. All right, so some of you might know that one of the other things that I like to do is collect firewood, perhaps maybe do some slabbing, and dry some slabs wood for woodworking. So I got some walnut here that are pretty massive. I mean, this piece is almost 20 feet long. This is black walnut. All of these are black walnuts. We got black walnut and English walnuts sitting over there, and well as some cedar that we've been working on over here. But particularly in this walnut here, I started slabbing it. I got my butt cut done right there, which I'm still keeping, kind of getting ready to cut this through so we can dry it. And I didn't really have an area where I can dry it, so I have right over here, all of this was covered in ivy. As you can see, there's ivy growing out on the fence right there, and all of this ground was just covered in ivy. And it wasn't, we probably had like 6 inches, no, probably like 16 inches of dirt that was not evenly sloped. If I show you this ivy right here, it's hard to see on a camera, but this is probably good 16-18 inches higher going to that tree, to that stump. And as you can see, this ivy is trying to make its way up onto the tree. So I decided to clear this area up right here, get this area flattened, get some make a platform so I can dry my slabs over here. It's pretty decent because there's a lot of shaded area, a lot of trees, meaning there's not going to be a lot of hot sun on it, and get this all dried up. So this is another piece of log that we have. This has been drying actually for a while here. It needs to be transferred into my shop. I had it probably here for 3 years. This is all white oak, slabbed out. And then I have some walnut here that's been drying, part of this log right there. I want to take just a minute and talk about what it takes to be able to grow your own food and be able to live in the city. So we live in a city on an acre lot, and since we're in a city, we're kind of limited on what we can do, what we can raise, especially on animals. And our house situated that we have a big chunk of land in front, which is straight up to the street with the lawn area, and then not so much in the back. It's kind of set into in the back, and you want to keep it, somewhat presentable. And trying to get to that point, it takes a lot of work. Sometimes it's easier to have 5-7 acres out somewhere in the boonies, behind, outside of the city limits, where you can just have tractors and grass and overgrown lawn, and that's it. Doesn't really matter what's going on over there. But when you're in the city, you want to have the property that's presentable, which is a lot of work to do. So even on the garden sides, you want to have your gardens somewhat decent looking. Besides that, it's nice to work in a decent looking garden, but it looks good when people come over, and how it looks from the street, so on. So if you're looking into getting into homesteading and growing your own food and kind of doing things, I know a lot of people, they're thrilled to be in the city and try to do stuff inside the city, but it's a little harder. Than there's a lot of things that are involved with doing stuff in the city rather than doing it outside of the city, which needs to be taken into consideration when starting. We've kind of been put into position that we have to be here, so, and we like it. It's accessibility for stores and walkability. It's really nice, but there are limits to it. and even like working on this project that I'm doing here, which is pretty much in front of our yard. You know, we have all this wood just stacked in front of our yard, and I need to get it all cleaned up, and it takes a lot of work. Luckily, we have a couple of dry days that we can get this stuff going, so I'll be on it. Hopefully I'll get some work done and get the progress going.